What's up, everyone? I'm back again. So, today we're going to just have a conversation on hey, how much do the rich have in their bank account or savings or whatever else you want to say? But how much money does the average rich person have in their savings account or in savings or in saving avenues? Now, I got this off of the U.S. Federal Reserve. It was released by the Survey of Consumer Finance. And it just tells us, hey, what does the top 10% American have in their savings? The 20%, 30%, 40%. I thought it was pretty cool. This data was released in 2022. Now, I'll give you some tips and tricks at the end of the video, so stay tuned. If you want to know some ways you can save money and, keep a little bit more in your pocket so you can have more in your savings account. Now, according to the data, the top 10% of earners in US in 2022. Now I know it's 2024, but they don't do this census but every 4 years. The median pre-tax income of the top 10% was $390,000, and the income has steady upward trend from 2010 from 280. So the top 10% increased by 39% in that last 12 years from the survey. Now, how much are growing, and the top 10%, sadly, it grows faster than others. Now, I like to see this to see, hey, how do I compare, just to see, hey, am I saving enough, or what's the other rich people are doing? I'm not comparing lifestyles. I'm comparing, hey, how are they doing it? And if you do this, you're not trying to say who's better. You're saying, hey, I am trying to see how they got, wealthier. Now, if you're getting wealthier and saving good amount of money, that's good. So, how much are the richest 10% are making? The richest 10% right now is making about 390K a year. And the median income from the 90 to 100% in 2010 was 280,000, and in 2022 it was 390,000. So it was about an increased growth of 39% for the top 10%. So I like to see this because, yes, wage does grow differently for the different brackets. So if you're in the top 10%, they start making a little bit more money. And it is sad to say, I wish it was spread more evenly, but this is how it is. Now, the 80 to the 90 percentile in 2010 made 154,000, and in 2022 the survey said that they now make 189,000. So if you're making 189,000 a year, hey, you're in the top 80 of earners in America. Now, the 60 oh well the income growth on that was 22.78% for the top 20 percentile. Now, the 60 to 79, or top 30 percentile, the median household income was about $97,155 in 2010. And in 2022, it was $115,658. That's, the top 40 percentile of America. So if you're making that, you're in the top 40 percentile, that's 19% growth from 2010. The 40 to 59 percentile, or the 60 percentile, they make about 62,000 a year in 2012. And now they make 70,000. So they only had a 12% increase. So in the 20 to or the 80 percentile, I'm going to speed this up a little bit. You know, they made 38,000 in 2010, and in 2012 they made only 43,000. You know, that's only 11% growth. So you notice that the top percentile, their income growth is different from the bottom percentile. So there is a difference. So you have to take that into account and learn, hey, if I want to be in the top percentile, what do I have to do to get there? And it's usually due to education, due to work ethics, or something along that line. You know, the bottom 20% only makes about, 18,000 a year in 2010. And 2022 they make 20,000. So how much did they have in their savings account now, since after we went over the incomes? And their savings account for the top 10% of American people, they have about $111,000 in the bank account. That's a really high number. You know, that's the top 10% of Americans have that much money, according to the consumer survey. The top 20% had about 33,000 in their bank account, and then the top, 30 percentile had about 15,000. And then if you keep going and going, the lowest people, or the bottom 20%, only had 900 bucks. So on average, the richest American have on average in their bank account $111,000 in their bank account. Now, that's around 29% of what they make in a year, and that shows they keep 3 or 4 months in their savings account for emergency funds, which makes sense. Now, how much do the richest 10% of Americans have in their savings? It does show that they do keep a pretty hefty emergency fund, and it makes sense for them to have that for anything that comes up. Now, how much do they have total savings, or how much do they have in like assets and total is a little bit different, besides having in their bank accounts. You know, in their bank account, the top 10% had 111,000, but that doesn't count their assets. So asset wise, the top 10 percentile had in total saving in stocks, bonds, and mutual fund certification about 1.2 million. So if you are in the top 10 percentile, on average they have about 1.2 million in assets, stocks, and bonds. And it dramatically drops down in the 20 percentile, where in savings they only have, remember, this is stock, bonds, and certificates. So 80, or the top 20 percentile, will have 324,500 in their savings account, according to the survey. Now, the top 30 percentile will have about $96,800 in assets. And if you drop down all the way down to the lower 20 percentile, or the people that on the bottom 20, they only have total saving and everything in stocks and bonds about 1,400. And some of the tricks and I see that the ultra wealthy do is, number one, they automate most of their savings, or they have separate bank accounts so they can allocate their paychecks to different bank accounts, so they don't really notice it. They might have income of 300,000, but they separate to different account, automate it, and they have automatic investing. So since they have automatic investing, it helps them build up the income. Now, if you are in the bottom 20%, or not in that average for your percentile for income, hey, it's all right. Just increase your savings and you'll be there. It takes no time. And please like and subscribe to the video.